Happy Thanksgiving. Let's do a happy Thanksgiving chess Kingside attack with two very fabulous players, Arthur Bisgreer and Bent Larson, the Dane. Zagreb, 1965. Let's go to the board. D4, we've got a queen pawn opening. G6, he's going to start with the fianchetto. How about that? E4, that's right. Stick those two pawns right up there in the center. Good way to start. If your opponent allows you, absolutely do that every time. Fundamentally so. Fianchetto the bishop. Let's go. Let's go. F4, building up a large pawn center. Now, this means he's got the responsibility to take care of that, because when you push more pawns forward like this, yes, you gain space, but you have to protect those pawns. That's a big responsibility. And here we go with the counter punch coming up to the center, knight f3. The nice thing about this is it's guarding the d pawn, so he's building up his center. Very, very nice. And now knight f6. Larson, it's not a bad move. Far be it from me to criticize Bent Larson, but this is what was called for. You've got to contest that big of a buildup in the center, even when you're grandmasters, right? But he didn't do that. He pushed the knight instead. So let's see. Hopefully this won't hurt him too bad. Bishop d3. Now notice how he's doing this. Bisguer, I don't know how you pronounce his name. It's horrible. I should, but Bisguier. Bisguer is how I'm going to call it. Bisguire. It's not Bisguire. Bisguer. Anyway, he was a dandy chess player. Notice how he is supporting his central pawns. Every one of those three pawns, as well as he's bringing out his pieces systematically in his development. That's a great way to do that. But he's got a lot of work because those are the targets, of course. Absolutely. You're putting yourself right on the front line. Now let's see what Larson does. He is going to castle, and so is Bisguer. He's going to castle. And now knight b to d7. Now the comment here, for whatever reason, Larson is playing too passively against a man who loves complicated positions and loves to attack. Let's keep going. I'll show you just what I mean. And here we are. E5, this forward thrust, gaining more space, hitting the center pawn, tagging that knight. What's he going to do? Knight E8. And you're seeing Larson playing uncharacteristically passive here. So this is not good in a way. Queen's going to come over to E1. Notice he puts the queen, not the rook. So this is an interesting situation here. And now finally he does do the C5, hitting back at the center. And of course, you've got it started. You've got the momentum, right? If we were playing white, you've got the momentum. You've got it started. You have the pieces backing you up. You have the pieces backing you up. You have the pieces backing you up. Push those pawns. This is a superb example to show just that. Fantastic. F5. Let's get this show on the road. D will take the E pawn. Now, of course, he's going to fight back. And this one is how he chose. He is already doing his kingside attack. Now, the only question is, really seriously, is he going to succeed? Because Bent Larson is no slouch, although he has been mildly passive in this game, but sometimes only up front. Larson has the clout, the oomph, the pizzazz, the get-go to kick El Rompo when he has to, but so does Bisguer. Now, there's no question we are talking kingside attack. This is it. This is so classic, too, because You push the pawn, you push the pawns, you push the pawns, and then you break up the king side, and then you jump in there with your pieces. E will take the d4. Now, see what began as a very proud, a very mighty, and a very advancing pawn center has disintegrated. It's gone. That's almost like magic, isn't it? In its place, lots of pieces and a weakened king side. And yet, Larson is the one with the pawns in the center. But notice his development is so far behind. You can't do this, even when you're so great as Bent Larson. 1, 2, 3, plus the rook on the half open file. It's only got the one color pawn, so it's a half open file. But that's 3 pieces, 4 pieces to his 1, 2 pieces. That's more than double the force. And of course, the activity of each piece and their counterpart is much finer with every single piece of whites. Every single one of them. So if you find yourself in this position, yes, go attack the king. Go get your game finished. Right? That makes sense. So E did take the d4, eliminating the last white pawn in the center. And now, I just showed you the characteristics. You're in an attack. Now, you're not Bruce Lee, so you can't take on the whole army by yourself. And you're not Chuck Norris, so you still can't take on the whole army by yourself. What do? You're in attack mode. That means, of course, that we're going to move forward into enemy territory. What's your next piece to move? What piece isn't developed yet? The bishop. Then go put him out there. Fight. This is superb. Bisguer is showing us how to do this. This is absolutely superb. And now, knight at E will come up to F6. He's going to try to protect the king as best he can. Let's see how he does. Okay, you're in an attack. You need more pieces because, of course, Black's pieces are beginning to surround him. And granted, the pawn structure around the king is not devastating. It's not overly weak. And he does have pieces around the king. It's not like you have an exposed king, right? And yet, knight G5 is the next call to arms. Look at this setup, you guys. This is really, really good. Now, when your opponent does attack on the wing, the response is for you to attack in the center. And we see Bent Larson doing this with knight E5, getting the knight ready to get into the action here. So that's a pretty tight-looking kingside attack, isn't it? That's going to be tough. That looks like granite. And in fact, when you really look at it, that is granite. So what do? You fire your first cannonball. Rook takes out the knight. He's going to sacrifice the exchange, putting an Alcan block on the F6. Spectacular move. Absolutely incredible. And Larson is up for the challenge. What's this? He does a move you won't guess. Bishop to H8. And he got an exclamation point for that. What a move. And you say, what? Why? I mean, does the rook have bad breath or something? You got to get away from him? No, take the rook. But if that happens, then bishop will take the knight, or bishop will take the rook, and then the bishop comes back to knight 7. So that would have stopped it. So here we are. He moves back instead of forward. I don't know if I showed you that right or not. Bishop, yeah, if bishop takes rook. Oh, no, I'm sorry. If bishop takes rook, I apologize. If bishop takes the rook, then the bishop goes to knight 7, and you've got your mate right there. The queen to the h7. So that's why he went back, is to prevent that ability to get the queen in there to the checkmate. He's protecting that area. So yeah, that's what he was doing. So bishop drops all the way back. And now the rook comes back. And so rook is going to try to give his king an escape route, but he has no time. Now, in an attack like this, on a kingside attack, you really have to make as many concurrent forcing moves in a row as you can, or you lose your momentum. And so this is very, very important. Oh, man. Bishop f8. And it got him 3 exclamation points. He puts his own bishop down there so that the king can't escape. He blocks off the escape. Now you see where the move is. Now the queen's coming to here for the checkmate, right? So you've got to be very careful. And so now Larson will bring his bishop back to here. Now, I don't know. I don't understand this part. I recorded this right. I don't get it. The checkmate's already here. The queen should just go to h7 and call it a day. I get that, but that's not what he did. The rook again took the cotton-picking bishop. That's twice. This rook is like a yo-yo. He's like a hungry yo-yo. Every time he goes down, he comes back up and eats a piece, goes back down, comes back up and eats a piece, you know. The yo-yo rook. And he's doing a fantastic job. Well, the pawn finally takes the rook. Now, queen to h6. I lied. I take it back. We do know why he didn't go to h7, because the king will take the bishop and then escape. So, yeah, that's why he didn't. Okay, yeah, you got to look at this stuff. So now the rook will take f8, will take f8, and now the queen goes to h7, checkmate. I mean, what a game. And everybody was happy except Larson. And so they all went and had Thanksgiving dinner after this. And Larson went home and thought about it and realized that I can't play that passive against Bisguerre. And I've got some other games by both of these guys that are absolutely over the top, breathtakingly fun to watch. So there is your Thanksgiving Day turkey kingside chess attack dinner for us chestnuts. Thanks for watching my videos. Hope you've had a great Thanksgiving. I will catch up to you very soon. In the meantime, be good, do well, have fun, go to bed early tonight. Oh, wait, it's Thursday night and it's Thanksgiving. I hope most of you took tomorrow off. I did. I'm going to be returning with more shorts and more chess videos, and potentially a philosophy video, and potentially a Mormonism video. We'll see how ambitious I am. So thank you for all your support. It's a boatload of fun being back. I'm glad for everyone enjoying themselves. Much more to come.